Okay, here's the question for all of you. Can a public school fly a Christian flag outside the building if students are the ones who want it there? Because that question is currently being raised in Texas, and it's part of a 7-year-long battle, okay? So I'm going to show you a couple things here. In 2017, the LaPoynor Independent School District in Texas, they have 3 flags outside their building. And check out what they did. This is a screenshot of a video they posted on Facebook. And I'm going to zoom in here. You could see outside the building here, there are students at the flagpole. And above the flag, you have the United States flag at the top. The one on the right is the, I think, state flag of Texas. But look at this other one on the far left. That is a Christian flag. That's a white background, a blue square in the corner with a red cross in the middle. That is a Christian flag. And this is what LaPoynor High School in LaRue, Texas had put up in 2017. And obviously, that's not okay. The Freedom from Religion Foundation called it out at the time. They pointed out the obvious things like, listen, by putting up a Christian flag, it's exclusionary. It turns non-Christians and non-believing students into outsiders, all that stuff. But FFRF said that's not our only problem, because as they go down this list, they say, wait a minute, here's another thing you posted on your school's Facebook page in 2017. See you at the poll. It's a picture of the 3 flags. See you at the poll, if you're not familiar, is like an event where a bunch of Christians meet before school. It's student-led. They say, we're going to gather around the flagpole and all pray together. To what end? No end. It's a really dumb activity. But whatever. The kids can do whatever they want to do. What the school district should not be doing is promoting it. So FFRF called that out. They also called out the fact that this school promoted a baccalaureate ceremony, which is like the Christian version of a graduation ceremony, full of prayers and whatnot. And again, if parents and students want to do a baccalaureate ceremony, that's their right. The school cannot promote it. So FFRF knew all of this. They called it out back in 2017, and that's very, very important and good. So how did the school district respond at the time? Well, I can tell you how they responded. First of all, the Christian flag was taken down to avoid the lawsuit. That's good. And then a bunch of students are like, well, you know what? If you won't let us have our Christian flag in front of the school, we're all going to put Christian flags on our pickup trucks because it's Texas. To which everyone... I'm going to speak for FFRF here, but I thought and FFRF thought and church-state separation people thought, yeah, buddy, all of that's fine. You guys do whatever the hell you want to do with your trucks. Nobody cares. This is fine. You clearly don't understand how the law works because no one's getting mad at you about that, right? You can do whatever you want here. And so that's what these students did. They put these things on their trucks. No one cared. But at least for the time being, the Christian flag came down from the front of the building. Here's the problem. I didn't realize this, but apparently the district soon came up with a workaround, or at least what they think is a workaround. Because not long after the Christian flag came down, they apparently formed a student committee to decide what the 3rd flag should be in front of the school. And according to the Texas Tribune, look at an article that was there just last week. Here we go. The Christian flag has returned. After the controversy about the Christian flag, the district formed a group of students to serve as a committee that selects what flag flies on that 3rd pole. The group is made up of the student from each grade level with the highest grade point average. What? And meets on a monthly basis under the supervision of a district parent, according to Superintendent Marcia Mills. Just to think about this for a second. Why are they getting the student with the highest GPA on this committee? First of all, having a high GPA doesn't mean you're the smartest kid in the school. It just means you know how the game works. I played that game in high school. So, that doesn't mean anything. But also, it seems like they knew exactly which kids they wanted on this committee. And then they found a secular sort of explanation for how they could get those kids on the committee. Also, if this is a K through 12 district, I'm very curious why a kindergartner has a GPA. That's weird. But okay, let's just say it's high school only, because that's still weird. Check it out. The group has chosen different flags, but the Christian flag seems to be a frequent choice. Of course it was, because that's why the group was formed, to give the district an excuse to put up the Christian flag, right? So here's the question now, and I go back to what I started the segment with. Is it okay for the Christian flag to fly if students are the ones who voted for it, and it's one of several flags that have gone up? Does it make it legal? Again, arguably no. Because consider this for a second. In a place like LaRue, Texas, very rural Texas area, it has a very heavily Christian population. It's not like Muslims or Satanists or atheists could ever have their flag, if we have a flag. They would never have the votes to put their flags into the mix. By outsourcing it to students, it doesn't override the fact that certain groups cannot realistically be included in the mix. Like, what are rights? Rights are all about protection from the tyranny of the majority. And the majority here is Christian, and everyone knows it. There is also reason to believe the district formed this committee specifically so it would be a slap in the face to FFRF. And this is something else I found kind of surprising, because when they formed that committee, guess what the name of the committee was? Let me show you this. FFRF actually did a Freedom of Information Act request when they were thinking about suing this district. And they got this information, and I want to show you the second bullet point here when it came to starting this committee. The Flyers Freedom of Rights to Fly, FFRF, is a 7-member group which consists of the student with the highest GPA in grade 6. Sorry, not kindergarten. I don't know why a 6th grader has a GPA, by the way. But okay, look at the acronym for the committee. The Flyers Freedom of Rights to Fly. It's not even a good acronym, but they kind of they made it FFRF. Why? Because we're sticking it to the atheists who don't want the Christian flag to fly. They're basically admitting their petty little whatever you want to call it. And they couldn't even think of the words to make up for those letters. So, will they file a lawsuit over this at FFRF? I don't know. The appetite to fight Christian nationalism in a place like this is bound to be small. One thing I was disturbed by in the Texas Tribune article was this passage near the end. Back in East Texas, there does not appear to be enough concern over the flag for students to mount such a battle to wage a lawsuit. Parents in the district say they are in support of the Christian flag and do not know of anyone who is upset about the religious symbol. I believe in Jesus Christ, and I would not let my children go to school somewhere that does not believe in Jesus Christ, said some lady who has 3 kids in the district. I support the flag 100%. Of course you do, lady. Like, all these people who are your neighbors because you live in a Christian bubble, of course you don't know anyone upset by the symbol. I'm sure you don't know a lot of people, period, who think differently from you at all. But this kind of raises the point of why it would be very hard to file a lawsuit. Who in the community would want to be the point person for a lawsuit like this? Because you can imagine the backlash that person would have to deal with, and that's a scary prospect. So I don't know what's going to happen. I am disturbed by the fact that they may have found a workaround for this Christian flag. And the reason I say that is, oh, by the way, one other thing this crazy lady said a second ago. I believe in Jesus Christ, and I would not let my children go to school somewhere that does not believe in Jesus Christ. How does a school believe in Jesus Christ? It's a public school. I don't know what that means. Lady with 3 kids doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. Here's the thing, though. Even though if you think this is the wrong thing to do, there is a legal analogy that might be able to explain what the district is thinking here. Because some public school districts have included, they used to include formal prayers at graduation ceremonies. like it was printed in the program. Like after everyone sits down, we'll do a prayer. And that is illegal. And I know that because there was a school district in South Carolina that got sued for doing this. They had to pay over $400,000 in legal fees to the American Humanist Association, basically for shoving Christianity into their events. So how did other school districts respond to that lawsuit? Well, here's how some of them found a workaround so they could still get prayer at graduation. Some of them said, well, we're letting our senior class vote for a graduation speaker, and we're not going to look at what that graduation speaker says in advance. So if that graduation speaker wants to pray during that person's speech, it's fine. Or they would say, we have certain student speakers at graduation, but no one's going to review the content of their speeches. So if they want to pray, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, it's fine. They're very not subtly giving a green light to proselytizing from the stage. And the thing is, the courts so far have allowed those workarounds. The difference, however, is the graduations, those are one-off events. Putting a flag outside a public school, that's not something you do once. That's something that seems to be ongoing. So I don't know if the district's legal theory is on solid ground here. They're clearly counting on the Supreme Court, which is extremely right-leaning, and the ultra-conservative Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals to be on their side if a lawsuit was filed. And for that reason, I don't think there will be a lawsuit filed because it would easily be overturned even if things went right the first time around. So I don't think this Christian flag is going anywhere, but it's really disturbing that a public school district, even in Texas, thinks this is the way they should be handling this issue.